As a spiritual mentor, Theresa offers many powerful tools to assist seekers on their awakening path. And she is here today to talk about the importance of daily spiritual practices that help you empower yourself. Thank you so much for being here, Theresa. I'm really excited for you to share with us tonight, and for those who are going to be looking at the recording later.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I'm very happy to be here. The first tool I wanted to share with you was morning gratitude. And if you like, in the morning, start by journaling 3 different things that you're grateful for. And then you can also set the intention to feel gratitude throughout the day. And you can place reminder notes around the house or in your car or at work to remind you to feel gratitude throughout the day. And another tool that you can use is to set a timer to go off. And when it goes off, then take a moment to send gratitude or feel gratitude. And the whole thing is to really feel the gratitude, not to get into just saying it or writing or anything like that, but just really to feel the gratitude, because that will raise your vibration. And there's no better way to start your day than with a high vibration of gratitude and then love, because those are the 2 highest vibrations that we have while in human form. So the next one is, it's called the heart connection. And self-love is very important. So if you can start each day just by sending yourself love, and one way that you can do it's real easy, it'll fit right into your daily routine, is when you go into the bathroom, when you're brushing your teeth or combing your hair, whatever you're doing, just send yourself love, look yourself in the eye. And throughout the day, when you're in other reflective surfaces, perhaps you're in your car and in the mirror view mirror while you're getting everything ready to go, just smile at yourself, look yourself in the eye, and just remind yourself that you love you and you are lovable and you can be loved. So it's very important, that love and the gratitude first thing right in the morning and then throughout the day. Now, the heart connection itself is there's many ways that you can do it, but one way is you can do this now while you're listening, is put your left hand over your heart area and put your right hand over your left hand and just close your eyes for a minute. And you could feel the warmth. So as the warmth is building, and what you're actually doing in this, you're actually creating a circuit. So the electricity in your body is actually going from one hand to the arm and down the other arm and into the heart, both of them. So it just gets this little circuit going. So that's one way that you can do the heart connection. And whether you're doing your hands with that or not, you can also use the heart connection to increase your love with your family and friends and your relationships, or anybody. You could be at the grocery store, and all you're doing is you're just sending love from your heart to their heart, and they don't even have to know that you're doing it. And sometimes you may notice that somebody will shift. They may be in a grumpy mood and you're sending love to them, and all of a sudden you kind of see them shift or start to smile. So that's one way that you can do it. And another one is with people that you have problems with before you're going to meet them. We got the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if you're going to be meeting people, and some of them are going to be ones that tend to be kind of hard to deal with, while you're there, even before you go, when you're talking to them, just send them that heart connection, send them that love. Because also it changes our perspective. When we get all grouchy and we start having bad attitudes about people and stuff, if we start sending them love and focusing on the love instead, that will shift our perception as well. And then it can shift theirs. And a lot of times the feelings that we have for people has something to do that was said way back when. We haven't forgiven them, they haven't forgiven us, and it's just let go of all of that. And another way you can use it is when you're going to work. If you've got a boss or a coworker that's kind of hard to get along with, even before you go into the building as you're driving to work, just amp up your love for them and try to change your perspective towards them. And during the day, whenever you see them or they come into your mind, just send them love. And even if somebody is right in front of you and they're starting to get nasty and start an argument or something, just send them the love. And that will help to balance the energies. And you can also use the heart connection to connect deeper with your higher self and also with God, creator, source, whatever name you go by. Just can think of sending your love to them and receiving their love. And that's so important to receive also. A lot of us have a harder time receiving than giving love. So it's really important that we have that two-way communication with everybody going. Also, I have on my website, I have written instructions on how to do the heart connection different ways. And also I have on my YouTube channel, there's a heart connection meditation that you can use. Then I'll be given that information later on. All right, the next tool I wanted to share is monitoring your thoughts.
Theresa, can I add to that one?
Pardon?
Can I add to what you were saying?
Yes.
So I like two things. I like love bombs and love minds. So if I get a bunch of people coming into a room, I'll have little minds on them when they sit down to get love.
And you're doing the same thing. It's just that sending love, however you you do it. It's so important. Have you noticed differences when you did it?
Sure, they're much more, talkative, connected, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah. Because we're raising the vibration of everybody. And when we raise our vibration singly, it goes out. So the whole universe will get a little dose of it. Not everybody's able to receive it, but at least we're offering it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's good. That's good. Keep doing it because we need that. We need it everywhere. So monitoring the thoughts. Thoughts are the beginning of the creation process. So anything that you want to create, first you got to think about it. And then, as we were talking earlier before we started, we have thoughts going crazy all the time. So all thoughts, but some thoughts you want to capture and you want to do something about it. So, but monitor those thoughts. A lot of them just let them go, but something that sounds like you might really want to do something about it, those are the ones you want to focus on, because we create in the moment. So whatever you're thinking about in that moment, that is the beginning of creating your reality. And when negative thoughts come up, immediately, when you can and you think about it, change it to something that's more inspiring, more positive. Catch yourself doing it. And when you're doing it more and more, it'll get easier and easier until you find that you're rarely ever having negative thoughts anymore. And the next tool is to monitor your words. That's the second process of the creation process, second phase. So the first is thinking of something. Then what do we do after that? When we have a thought and we want to bring it into creation, we start telling other people about it, and we start talking to ourselves about it more. We might write our words down and start making plans that way. So it's very important to monitor what your words are, because words are very important and they hold a lot of vibration and emphasis with whatever and whoever you're talking to. So it's very important to pay attention. So if you're in a group and you find yourself starting to gossip or say something that's not nice about somebody, just stop yourself mid-sentence. And you can even say, hey, I don't think I'm going to finish that sentence. It wasn't really nice. I don't want to go there. And everybody else would be like, oh man, I want to hear that juicy gossip, but hey, that's too bad. I don't want to go there anymore. And if you're sharing negative information, this is really important now, because there's so much negative misinformation on the social media and all the news and everything. If you're going to share information first, and it's negative, make sure that you find out if it's true first. If you don't want to take the time or effort to really go back and check and research to see if this is truth, then just don't put it out. And if you do want to share some negative information, then follow it up with some positive solutions. Otherwise, you're part of the problem. So if we keep putting out negative stuff or pay attention to negative stuff, and we're getting other people to pay attention to negative stuff, we're just creating more and more negative energy. So balance it with some positive solutions, or just don't say anything. And also monitor the words that you allow into your space. Like other people that are gossipy, you might want to start breaking away from that. Books that you're reading, are they positive, or do they have negative storylines with them? Song lyrics is really huge. There's a lot of songs when you really start, even way back ones, a lot of the older songs like in the 60s are all about codependency. So lot of the songs nowadays is about hating and killing and all this crazy stuff. So really pay attention to the song lyrics. And when you find yourself singing along with an old song, start paying attention to those songs too, because it's still getting into your memory bank there and it's being ingrained more, especially if this is a song that you've listened to for years and years and years. So these actually become your beliefs, even though you may not realize it. We're programming ourselves. And the other one is the news. If you don't have a need to watch the news, then avoid it. I'm going to share a little story that happened to me. I was out in California. I was being guided on this trip, and I was going down the highway, think I was going to go one place, and I drive by the Hearst Castle. And I just heard, go up there and, go to that. It's all a museum now. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the Hearst thing. I'm driving down and it's like, no, turn around. I was like, turn around. And went to the museum, I paid the price. And the first thing in this first little room, they had this great big screen and it was talking about Randolph Hearst and when he started this. And the reason he started the newspaper was because he wanted to blackball an enemy of his. Some guy he'd gotten mad at and he wanted to get revenge. And that's how the news began, the media, the newspapers and stuff. And it hasn't changed since then. So be wary of the news. And even if you want to watch it because you want to get the weather, the sports and all that, then just be very discerning of what you take in. But if you find that it's really negatively impacting you, then just don't go there at all. And also watch the movies that you watch. Are they uplifting or are they bringing you down? And also social media. That's the biggest one now, is everybody's on these groups and you don't know who's talking. You don't know who's really behind the typewriter. And so just really be very discerning. And if it's all gossipy and negative, just get out of it. And also another thing is with these movies and YouTube, I just had this happen a couple of days ago, one of my clients, and she was sitting there. She walked into the room. She didn't realize her 5-year-old was watching a scary movie on YouTube, and she saw a spirit jump out and land on her son and possessed him immediately. I mean, I couldn't believe how fast he got the little one like that. And we had a hard time getting that one off. So she actually could see it. So they can come through computers, they can come through your phone. They're getting really savvy with all the technology and stuff. So if it's not something that's high energy, then don't even bring it in. Don't bring it to existence. Now, one of my books, my messages, I offer a simple formula that I'm now starting to see in a lot of places. It's called Think Before You Speak. And it's an acronym, THINK. T, is it timely? Is this the right time? You might be wanting to say something to somebody, but if they're already in a negative mood or they're mad at you or they're concerned about something else going on, it might not be the right time to talk to them on that particular subject. Another thing to think about, H, is it honest? Is it really your truth? Or are you really trying to manipulate somebody? Or are you kind of fudging the truth? So is it honest? And then I is about I, the ego. Is it all about you that you're wanting to talk about? And N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? So think before you sleep. And you guys don't even have to make notes if you don't want to with this, because everything's going to be, I have a link where you're going to see all of this. I thought it was so important. I put it all on my website. So think before you speak. Is it timely? Is it honest? Is it about I? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And if it doesn't pass all of those, then go to the next level where silence is golden. Just don't even speak. If you can't say something nice, then try not to say anything at all. And the next tool is to monitor your actions. And that's the third step of the creative process. We start with a thought. We start focusing on the thought and talking about it with our words, and then we start to put it into action. So you have to be very wary of your thoughts, your words, and your actions so that you're creating what you want, not what you don't want. Whatever today's actions that you do today are the results of the thoughts, words, and actions that you've had in the past. And the thoughts, words, and actions that you have right now are going to be what's in your future. So you're going to be creating your future. So if you want to know what your future looks like, pay attention to what's going on right now and start adjusting and start changing things that just are not keeping you balanced and not taking you where you want to go. And then, as they say, actions speak louder than words. Make sure you're walking your talk. And when your thoughts, words, and actions are not in harmony, then you're going to have depression. And depression is focused on stuff in the past. And anxiety is the opposite. It's being focused on the future. So all that stuff in the past that you don't want to hang on to and you're depressed about, if you still keep thinking about it and you start acting in the same way and saying the same stuff, then you're going to bring that right into your now moment. And you're going to have that depression right now. And then you're going to be worried about this. The future is going to be the same way, and it will be the same way unless you start to make some choices. So very important to monitor your thoughts, words, and actions. And take time to reflect on what you need to do to balance those thoughts, words, and actions. How can you change it? What needs to be done? So you come up with some different strategies. And then look at every area of your life where there is imbalance. Look at your family, your relationships, work, recreation, your diet. And one that's really important too that a lot of people overlook is the service to others, especially with light workers. We all feel like we're here we're supposed to be spreading love and joy and helping people and all that. And this is true, but are you also taking time for self-care? That's very important. You've got to balance the two. The next tool is meditation, and with the focus of inner peace. And I can't overstress the importance of daily meditation, even twice a day if you can. And the first thing you have to do is you have to slow down that monkey mind. You can't make good decisions until you are in a peaceful state of mind. So once you have inner peace, that will give you clarity. And when you have clarity, then you can start to make better decisions and you'll trust your decisions more. And on my YouTube channel, I have a meditation to help with that. It's called Quiet the Mind Meditation. And you'll get a link to that at the end. So another tool is using meditation. And this one is to connect with your higher self. So you might ask, what is the higher self? And the higher self is a highly evolved conscious being that sends part of itself to Earth to be able to experience physicality. Our higher selves are so big and so energetic, they can't come down into a human body. The human body couldn't handle it. It would explode. And so it sends a part of it. And even that aspect, that part of it has everything in it. It's like a hologram. So your higher self is what created your pre-incarnation plan. It holds the blueprint for your life. It's the one that decided the main things it wants to do, experience down here, the main life purpose, the main mission, the main people that it wants to hook up with, all of that. So who better to go to for questions than your higher self? It's a much more effective place to go than and trustworthy place to go once you get past your blocks and stuff and go into psychics. Because you can go to a psychic and you can go to 10 different psychics and get 10 different answers. So when you can hook into the higher self yourself, you can know right away, and you will know because your intuition will start coming through. And meditation will help to clear the blocks and the limiting fears. These are the fears and the limiting beliefs. And we create limiting beliefs all of our lives. Most of our limiting beliefs start in early childhood. When there's some kind of trauma or something, we will set up a belief that we may not consciously even be aware of. And we're still running those background tapes. It's causing a lot of problems and blocks in our life currently. So when you can go into meditation and start getting rid of those fears and the limiting beliefs, then you can start getting a clearer connection to your higher self. And the main way our higher self communicates with us is through our intuition. Again, once you have the inner peace, you'll have the clarity, you can start making better choices. And why? Because you can trust your intuition more and it will come to you more. But we have to really clear all that out. Otherwise, if you're off balance and you don't trust yourself and you've been making bad decisions, or even if you have some dark entities on you, you know, you're going to get all this stuff. If you're listening to everybody else and not making decisions yourself, then you're going to get all confused and it's going to be hard to make a decision. And the worst is that you won't trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, then your intuition kind of gets set on the back burner. And that's where you're going to start having some really big problems. So when you get rid of the fears and the limiting beliefs, then your intuition will be much clearer. And that's the goal. And the way to get there is through meditation and also through monitoring your thoughts, words, and actions. It all goes together. Well, the next tool is meditation. And with this one, with the focus being on connecting with God, creator, or source. And I get a lot of my clients that say, how do I know if I am connecting to God? And it's hard to feel that connection as long as you think of God as an abstract thought. When we think of God and God's just everywhere and God knows everything and all that, and God's this thing, we don't even know whether to call it a he or a she or an it because it's just too big. It becomes an abstract thought. It's very hard to connect with an abstract thought. So you can find an aspect of God that you can relate to. So a lot of people can relate to the creator. We are made in the image and likeness of God. So we are creators and we know what it's like to create. We started with Play-Doh as a kid. You can create with your writing or with art or with anything, just with our thoughts. We create all the time with our thoughts, words, and actions. We're always creating something. We're creating our own beliefs. We're creating everything. So a lot of people can relate to God as a creator. So if that's one way for you to meditate as focusing on the creator, then that can be helpful. Another aspect of God that might be easier to focus on is very common, and that's the father figure. And with a father figure, with a male and the masculine energy, we generally can put that in with the on the left side of the brain where there's the wisdom, the intelligence, and the guidance and such. So a father figure, so you might say your prayers or whatever with, dear father, things like that. So different things like that. So father figure is one aspect. And then there's also an aspect which is the Holy Spirit or the comforter. And this is when you feel peace, calm, joy, and bliss. And for most people, the first aspect that they feel of God when they're in meditation is peace. And in there, and you start feeling peaceful. That's one of the aspects of God. So if you feel like you're not connecting to God, you're not hearing words or anything else, just when you're starting to feel peace, when you're feeling calm, when you're feeling joy, when you move it up to bliss, then you know that is an aspect of God. These are different ways. So when you are meditating and trying to connect with God, if you're having a hard time with just that word God or the abstract thought, try to just choose one of the aspects of God, and that might make it easier for you to feel it and to recognize it and to really believe it and to really connect. And you can use that heart connection, as I mentioned earlier, too, to connect with God. Just try to fill up your heart with things that you have gratitude for and filling it up with love, and then sending that love to God, and then allowing that love to come back. A lot of us have had so much pain that it's so hard for us to receive love because we equate love with pain, because everybody that we loved has hurt us one time or another. So think of God as divine love. That's love. He loves, he just observes, he watches, he allows everything to happen as it is because he gave us free will. But we all came from the same source and we all are love. And that's the whole goal for awakening, is to learn how to get more and more closer to that divine love. It goes beyond even human unconditional love. It is really just everything. God is everything and love is everything. And once again, the inner peace. You get the inner peace, you're going to get the clarity, you're going to be able to trust your intuition more, and then you're going to be able to make better choices. And then when you're open up, that's when God and all of his heavenly helpers can begin to answer your reasonable prayers, because we say a lot of prayers that are not reasonable. And you'll get those, they'll help you through coincidences, synchronicities, through other words, song lyrics, the actions of others, all kinds of signs. So when you're open and you're paying attention and you set your intention, you know what you want, you got your thought, it's focused, and you're telling God and you're telling others and you're writing down your own words, the things that you want to do, and you're taking the action for it, then that tells God and the heavenly helpers, all right, he or she, that one's serious about this. Let's see what we can do to help her out. So make sure also that you know what you really want to, because it works both ways. If you are trying to do other things, there's plenty of dark entities out there that would be more than happy to help you with curses and anything else that you want to do. So know what you want and keep it on a positive level, and then life will be much smoother. And even if it isn't smoother, you're going to learn more from it. You'll be more open to it. All right, our next tool is daily introspection. Every evening, take time to do a daily review of your thoughts and words and your actions of that day, and celebrate the things that you did, that you're in alignment. We tend to focus on the negative things we did. We tend to focus on the negative things about our body. We tend to focus on the negative things other people say. Well, start celebrating all the things that you did that day that are in alignment with who you are and what you want to be. And then anything else where you feel like you missed the mark, don't go into blame and shame and woulda, coulda, shoulda, if only, and all of that, because that's just going to bring you down. That's negativity. So you don't want that. You want to start changing it around. And I use the word miss the mark. It's kind of an interesting word. The origin of the word sin is chait, and that's a Hebrew archery term, and it means miss the mark. So a sin isn't something that you're going to go to hell for. It's something where you were trying to do something, but you didn't quite get where you wanted to go. So instead of beating yourself up because you missed the mark, then think of it as that archery term. And what will an archer do if he misses the mark? He's going to keep practicing. He's not going to be sitting there. Well, he can be, but he shouldn't be sitting there beating himself up. That's not going to help him hit that bullseye more. He's going to get more focused, and he's going to pay attention more, and he's going to practice what he did. He's going to pay attention to when he pulled back the bow, everything, all the different parts, to see where he's going to get it just right so that he can hit the bullseye with more regularity. So it's all about retraining our brain, changing our behaviors, and just focusing on the things that we want to do and not beating ourselves up for it. Then we will retrain our brains, and then we will also like to say practice makes perfect. So just keep practicing until you reach the mark more, and not think of it as sin or something negative. Don't berate yourself for those things. And you can develop strategies to change your perspective and your behavior. So the next time something comes up that's similar and you didn't like how you acted in that time, develop some strategies. And one of the things you can do is visualizations. You can make it as real as you can in your mind using the 5 senses. And for example, let's say somebody, you had an altercation with them, there were some harsh words that they said and you said some back, so you just kept reacting to each other, and it got nasty and all of that. And you're like, oh, that didn't feel good. I really don't want to be that way. That's not really who I am. I really want to be able to communicate better, or even just learn to walk away. I just don't want to be like that anymore. So you can use visualization and think about, okay, if you were with that person or another person and it started to go in that similar pattern again, where things were starting to get out of control and people were saying, you or the other one were saying something that didn't need to be said, then just visualize how you would really rather respond instead the next time, and keep practicing in your mind. When you use the 5 senses and you can practice things as much as you can to make it real, the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. It's going to react to what it's used to. And visualization is something that a lot of athletes use. A lot of people, actors and actresses, use it as well. And they'll just keep, like a basketball player, he'll just visualize. They can get this has been proven with some of them that they can actually say that even if they didn't practice at all, if they were practicing in their mind, they still played better games and stuff. So this is being proven that our brain, what we think about and how well we can make it and feel it and smell it and taste it, the more real it becomes. And it's retraining your brain. So you can be doing this work even without going out and never talking to anybody. And if it's maybe it's a new car you wanted, you can do the same thing. You can visualize yourself, you can see yourself, close your eyes, see yourself driving, and you got the steering wheel, you got the windows down, you can feel the wind blowing, you can hear the traffic, you can hear cars honking, you can smell the leather if you want for your for taste. You can lick the steering wheel, whatever. But just make it as real as you can. And it's also a very effective tool if you have any addictions, whether it's smoking, drugs, or alcohol or anything, is just see yourself the next time doing things different. Like if you are a smoker and you like to have that cigarette after you eat, start visualizing yourself picking up something else instead, chewing on the end of a pencil or whatever, to see yourself saying no to people. So it's the daily introspection is very important. So just review each day that you can, each night before you go to bed, and then start thinking of ways that you can change what you didn't like, and then celebrate what went well, what you did like. Okay, and the next one, this is the site map. This is on the bottom of my website, and my website is my name, theresacrabtree.com. And then when you go to the bottom of any page, you'll see a yellow box like this, and it says daily spiritual practices. If you click on that, everything that I talked about is right in there. And you'll also find links to the Heart Connection, where you can download the written instructions. And there's also the link on my YouTube channel for the Heart Connection, one of the Heart Connections, the self-love, and then also the Quiet Your Mind meditation. And when you're on my YouTube channel, then also go ahead and subscribe, because they're always putting up new stuff. That way you'll know when anything new is coming up. All right, that's what I have for everybody today. So thank you for listening to me babble.